Welcome to our LEAP or our Learn Earn Apprenticeship Review. I want to show you this short video about why learn entrepreneurship.
I came from a family with a poor attitude, if you know what I mean, because rich, poor, middle class, poverty starts with a fundamental attitude. So I was in Hawaii, I was 9 years old. My father was the head of education, PhD, very smart man, good guy. And for some reason, we moved across town and I went to a school with rich kids. So this is a little town called Hilo, Hawaii. It's a sugar plantation town. So when I was 9 years old, I moved to this rich kid school. And suddenly I realized I was poor because it's relative, as Einstein, it's all relative. And my classmates were mostly white guys. And I was one of the few Asians in the class. And these guys, their fathers owned the banks, they owned the plantations, they owned the car dealerships, they owned the meat packing company, they owned the ranches. And I'm going, how come my dad doesn't own that? So I remember raising my hand when I was 9 years old, talking to my fourth grade teacher, and I said, when am I going to learn about money? And she couldn't answer me, and she got very flustered. She said, sit down, take your seat. And then I got curious. I said, why don't we learn about money? She says, go ask your father. He's my boss. My father was the head of education. I go home and ask him, I said, why don't we learn about money in school? And he looked at me and says, because the government doesn't let us teach that subject. The government tells us what we can teach and what we can't teach. And I thought that was strange. And I said, but aren't we going to school to learn about money? He says, no, your job is to get a job. I said, but you get a job to earn money. He goes, no, you're supposed to just get a job. I went, no. Isn't the purpose of a job to earn money? He goes, you're correct. I said, so why don't I just learn about money? I can skip the job part, And he got flustered and he said, look, and my father was, for Japanese, very tall, 6'4", and imposing man, good guy. But he says, if you want to learn about money, why don't you ask your best friend's father about money? And I said, why? That's Mike. So why ask him? He says, because Mike's father is an entrepreneur. And I said, what are you? He says, I'm an employee. I'm a government employee. And I went, oh, what's the difference? He says, the difference is an entrepreneur must know about money, or they're no longer entrepreneurs. And he says an employee doesn't have to know anything about money, because the government will take care of them, the company will take care of them. So I'm all confused. But I took my dad's advice and I trundled over to Mike's father's office and knocked on his door and I said, hey, I'm here, 9 years old, teach me about money. He says, beat it, kid, And finally, through persistence, my rich dad started teaching me about money on one condition. And that condition was he would never pay me. He says, the moment I pay you, you think like an employee. He says, that's the trap. Entrepreneurs work for free. And now I'm 9 years old, my head's cracking in half. He says, you never want a paycheck. You understand that, kid? I said, okay, I got it. And he says, well, how do I make money? He says, that's what entrepreneurs figure out. It's like,
and you said until you get your first 100,000, invest in yourself anyways. Don't be going out and buying
first
things.
100 people are trying to invest too soon. They're like, I got $5,000, should I put it in crypto? No, you should not. You don't have any money to put risk. You put the $5,000 in you, it's no money. Like, don't think you have any money, you're broke. So invest in yourself. Just keep investing in yourself until you actually have the ability, the marketplace proves that you have the ability to produce money over and over again. Because until you know that personally, it doesn't matter what I know. The individual needs to know, I have the ability to reproduce money. Why do people save money? Why do they save for a rainy day?
Because they're scared. They're not confident that they can make more money.
Exactly. They're not confident that they can create more income and hold on to it.
Well, I'll give you two pieces of advice. I'd invest as much in myself as you can. I mean, you're your own biggest asset by far. I mean, you've got all kinds of potential. All the people in this room, you're lucky to be in this country, gotten a good education, but most people go through life using up a very, very small part of their potential. And so anything you do that invests in yourself, that's the best investment you can possibly make. And then I would follow my passion. I mean, whatever turns you on.
So yan ang tapang at karunungan. That's why we need to invest in ourselves to become an entrepreneur. Sabi nga ni Warren Buffett, diba, the best investment you can make is an investment into yourself. So let's go back to the question of why is it that entrepreneurs are so attractive? Diba? Bakit ba ang mga entrepreneur it's really appealing? Because there's something that entrepreneurs have na yung mga employees don't actually get to enjoy. At yan yung merong freedom of time at power of choice. Right? So that's actually one of the biggest distinctions that entrepreneurs have against or versus the employees. No? So again, let's refresh ourselves. No? One of the differences of entrepreneur and most of the people ay itong tatlong bagay na ito. So let's look at three situations. May mga tao na they have a lot of money but they don't have a lot of time, right? So marami ang nakaka-experience yan. And not that employment is really bad. It's not, of course. It's just that overstaying in employment for the long time, people tend to begin to realize na parang ito na lang ba ang buhay, right? This is having money and not having time. It's not completely good, okay? Now, the other type of people, yung walang pera, pero maraming oras, okay? Ito yung tambay, as we call it, no? So, mahirap din ito, right? You cannot do anything kasi, yes, may oras ka nga, wala ka namang power of choice because you don't have the means to make any kind of transaction. So, both of these situations, having money but not having time or having time but not having money are to some extent undesirable, of course, no? Of course, there's a more difficult situation yung type C people. Ito na yung wala ka na ng pera, wala ka pang oras. Di ba? And as we've always mentioned, maaring nakakulong ka nito. Okay? Nakakulong ka nito pag ganyan ang sitwasyon. At bakit hindi ka makagawa ng paraan to some extent. So, let's look at the ideal one. It's the D kind of person. This kind of person is the one that has both the time and you have both the money. So, ibig sabihin nito, you can do what you want to do when you want it and, anytime, anywhere. In a way, ang essence lang yan is that if you want to live your life on purpose, you can live your life on the purpose that you have set in your heart to do. And from experience, I've been into AB and not really C. But being on D is the best state of life, I would say. No, and I can only speak from my own experience. So everybody wants to be on that state. That's what we all want, okay? And that is what entrepreneurship gives a lot of us, no? So let's ask the question. Kung ikaw ang papipiliin, gusto mo bang employed ka na lang for the rest of your life? Or gusto mo rin ba maging isang authentic, genuine na entrepreneur, business owner someday? And I'm sure if you guys say, yes, gusto kong maging entrepreneur, this is called the dream natin. But the dream also comes with a challenge, right? And so the challenge is that bagamat maraming may gustong maging entrepreneur, walang experience, walang education ang madami about business. And we say that because we only earn from what we have committed to learn. Kung nag-aral ka into a certain field, ang default natin is that yan ka magkakaroon ng pagkakakitaan, right? So not everyone were educated and have enough experience for business. May mga nag-aral nga ng business sa school pero dahil hindi entrepreneurial yung kanilang naging conditioning, hindi rin sila pumasok ng business. Now, the other challenge, walang business idea ang mga tao. Ano bang magandang pasuking negosyo? Pangatlo is that walang masyadong extra time. Lalo na kung full-time sa trabaho ang isang tao, then how can you spend time somewhere else, right? Para makapag-develop ka pa ng business. And lastly, walang sapat na kapital. And these are the 4 challenges that goes with the dream of becoming an entrepreneur. At actually, yan yung sasagutin natin dito sa Angat Ka. So, Angat Ka Learning Hub, as we have shown kanina, Angat Ka came from the word na tapang at karunungan. It's courage and wisdom. Okay, yan yung kailangan natin pareho to become an entrepreneur. So ano ba yung Angat Ka? Angat Ka is a gateway platform that enables aspiring entrepreneurs to build capabilities, okay, kakayahan, to build capital, and to build connections for real-life businesses, no, through internship system with capital build-up program. So sabi ni Jim Rohn, formal education will make you a living, but self-education will make you a fortune. Now, why are we saying this? I want to emphasize here the value of self-education. Okay? Ang self-education, mag-uugat lang yan dahil meron kang desire na gusto mo kasing makuha yung isang bagay, mapag-aralan, maging sayo. So, it's like what Robert Kiyosaki, Grant Cardone, and even si Warren Buffett has been saying, invest in yourself. And the way you do that is through self-education. Why? Because you are your finest product. So sa pagpupursue natin ng entrepreneurship, eventually, we, the entrepreneur, are the product. Ikaw, ang kailangan mo muna, maging negosyante ka. And then, madali sa'yo ang magnegosyo. Bakit? Kasi nga, negosyante ka eh. So, it's a different set of beliefs and understanding that will transform you from the inside out. And you are your finest product. So, ang Angat Ka, we are to build the entrepreneur inside so that you can build the businesses outside. So, binabanggit ka natin ng madalas, di ba? Maraming nagdenegosyo pero hindi nagiging negosyante. Bakit? Kasi hinahabol mo lang yung pera. But ang pera ay byproduct ng pagiging entrepreneur, pagiging investor ng isang tao. Kung talagang gusto mong matutunan, tulad ng sinabi ni Grant Cardone, that you have proven in the marketplace that you can produce money over and over again, right? And the way we do this is the combination of 2 things, yung tapang, that's courage and boldness, at karunungan, okay, knowledge and wisdom and understanding. And the way we achieve that is by investing first in ourselves. So ang focus ng Angat Ka ay ikaw muna, bago yung negosyo mo, okay? Kahit anong negosyo yan. And some people come to us, they will tell you, oy, ang ganda ng opportunity ko, oy, ang ganda ng business ko, oy. They are selling you their business. But the question is, will you buy them as a businessman? Will you be willing to partner with them as a businessman? So kung hindi, it's because you have not seen them to be the kind of entrepreneur that you want to partner with. Now, we will turn the table around and we want you na in the future, kung ikaw ang magpo-propose ng business sa iba, people will say, I want to invest in your project. I want to get involved into your business. Or I want to partner with you. Bakit? Because I saw you and I know you. Ikaw ay isang negosyante. Ikaw ay entrepreneur. So ikaw ang ugat. Ikaw ang yaman. So very important itong ating kind of education. We are not an ordinary kind of knowledge-based learning lamang that's available on Google, but we are more on feeding your entrepreneurial spirit. So how do we achieve that? We are inviting you to leap to entrepreneurship and come and join us into this coaching community. So meron tayong online learning platform at ito ay merong exclusive na internship system. So kung graduate ka dito at magi-intern ka, you can avail of our Capital Builder program. And that way, makakapag-raise ka ng capital sa business na gusto mong pasukin. Kahit na at the moment, meron ka pang full-time job. That is what makes our program quite different. No? Bagamat nakatutok tayo sa sayo bilang ugat ng business, no? We also have an infrastructure around para makapag-raise ka ng capital mo. Right? So that is what we are offering dito sa Angat Ka.